So in today's video, I want to share all the different types of watercolor sets you could purchase. Ooh, that's messy. And what'll be worth the purchase. Just want to give you some samples. Of course, some are more expensive than others. This is my favorites. And I will try and find the links for all of these watercolor sets so that you can make your own informed decision about your purchase if you've not yet purchased watercolors. Okay, so the first thing to do is you want to make sure that you wet your palette. Now, of all the types of watercolors I have here today, these are the only ones that come out of the tube and they are already ready to go. You can see that all you need to do is add them to a palette. Let me get to a special palette. Add them to a palette and take your wet brush, a regular brush, and you can start at it. Okay. And that one little bit from the tube, that one little bit can last a long time. The good thing about it too is if it dries out completely, all you need to do is add water and it reactivates all over again. So I believe that's pronounced Statler. But this was my first watercolor set when I was introduced to watercolor painting a long time ago by my lovely cousin. Here we have, these are also Statler. These are watercolor markers and they're dual tip. You have this fatter edge, so you can be more precise with your painting. It's a lovely color. And then what you do, you take your wet brush and you can add water to it. And that has a nice effect as well. Another type of watercolor is watercolor pencil. These are Derwent Inktense pencils, and this one is in teal green. This Derwent pencil is great because you could start off with coloring in pencil, and then you take your wet brush, you add a little water, and the color spreads. Another neat trick that the nice man at the art store showed me was that you can actually take the dry pencil and dip it in water, touch the tip in water, and you can have that a different effect with your art. So it doesn't show you as much, well, it shows you texture, a layer of texture, but not like what you had when it was wet. And of course, if you wanted to, you can continue to spread it. Okay, so we have from the tube, this is this is Staedtler, and these are watercolor in a tube. This one is also Statler, and this is watercolor marker. These are Inktense, and this is Derwent by Derwent. This is a watercolor pencil. Okay, so that's 3 kinds already. Okay, this is the standard type of set that most kids grow up with, Crayola washable watercolors. washable because mom will love you for it. As soon as you remove this, I like that you have this palette area. Of course, I never realized that as a child. I didn't even know what a palette was. But it's the prospect of being able to color in things. When you're a child, you don't realize things like blending. A key thing here is to wet your color before you use it. This is priming your paint. You could take a spray bottle and do this, or you can dip your paintbrush in water and dip it into the paint. And it only takes a few seconds to activate. And once you activate it, you can get a richer color. Okay, so this is by Crayola, and this is the shade and the intensity you would get with this shade of blue-green. It's not bad for an inexpensive set. It's truly not bad. And you can still do things with this, like take that blue-green right here, right, and mix in say an orange and make it a different shade. So you can still use color mixing with Crayola. Now, something to remember with watercolors, it's going to dry a lighter shade. So if you are considering watercolor painting, remember that layering is going to give you the best effect. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like one shade over the other. But this is Crayola watercolors. Okay. Another less expensive choice. This is a set I bought at Michael's. This is by Reeves, and the lid does come off. This is an older set for me, but you still have access to a little palette here. And as I said before, the key to this is you want to make sure you prime your paint before you use it. Having a little spray bottle like this that I happened to purchase at Michael's, or any dollar store kind of spray bottle will help. But you take your paintbrush, and after the paint is activated, and this is the Reeves shade, and you can see I have had some pretty good color with Reeves. When you are painting with watercolor, you want to make sure you have 2 cups of water available. 1 cup is to rinse your brush, and another is to have clean water so that you don't contaminate your paint and the different wells. Okay, you can also mix color here. If I take that shade of blue and just go over it a bit, have a darker shade of blue if I added a bit of green. So this is Reeves watercolor paint, and I did buy this at Michael's. It was a bit more inexpensive, not as pricey as some of the others I have here. So this is Reeves watercolor. Oh, no apostrophe. Okay, let's see, another set I have. And as I'm turning these away, as I'm moving and changing up the paints, I am setting them aside, not closing them. If there's still water in the wells, you don't want your paint to get moldy, dirty. You don't want it to get stinky. So make sure that it dries out, just air it out, and the water should evaporate, and you can use it again next time. Another set I've purchased. This is by Aquafine. This is by Daler. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this. Daler and Rowney. I probably butchered it. I've had this set for a while. As you can see, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 colors. It does come with the a very small watercolor brush, and this is for travel. And you know this because you have this hook here, which you can use on your finger. You just slide it open, you pop it open, you can paint while standing. You know, it's a pretty good deal. So I would prime my paint. I hadn't used this one for a while. I feel like the majority of my time has been collecting watercolors. But I did switch over to acrylic paints for the majority of the time. So let's see what happens with a blue, shade of blue here. That's a beautiful ultramarine. Let's see if I can get this out. It seems to have like a purity to it. It's a nice shade of blue. And if I wanted to add wet on wet technique, take some green here, and you can see that same shade. So this is from the brand is Dollar and Brownie. Probably butchered the name. And the set is Aquafine. Another set I've come across in my time is this one by Raphael. This is also a travel set, and you would, when this is open, there's a hole here, and you could just set your finger in there and it would hold on. I did have a paintbrush here. I'm not sure what happened to it, but as you can see, I've used this quite a bit more often than the others. And it did provide a color wheel, which is very handy when you're trying to mix colors. So let me prime this. Oops, paper. Yes, it's very handy to have a spray bottle around. And for this one, I'm going to try this same shade of blue. It's a lovely color. I'm noticing that if I compared like the watercolor from a tube, or the marker, the pencil, the Crayolas, so far I could see that like the Crayola and even the Reeves are a bit more granular, but this one, the Aquafine, there's a purity to it, and I'm getting the same response from this one as well, from Raphael. So this brand is Raphael. Oops. R-A-P-H-A-E-L. And I believe there's a couple of dots. This is Raphael Watercolors. Those are some very pretty colors. Okay, I have 3 more sets here. So this next set is by Koi, and these are pocket field sketch. It's a pocket field sketch box. Sakura Color Products. Sakura is a really cool brand, and you might have guessed this is a Japanese type of paint. And this palette comes off. You can also set this aside and use this part over here. I like this selection. This comes with a water-filled brush. So I've not used this one yet. This one requires suction. And then you can wipe off your brushes on the side on the sponges. I've not used this set for a while, I could see, but if I add a little water and give it a second, have a look at this one. This is by Koi. It's very similar to the Aquafine shade of Ultramarine. I'm gonna try one more color here. I'm gonna try this green. So that's Koi watercolor set. I was attacked by the Crayolas. K-O-I. Okay. This next set is one I use quite frequently. It's appeared in many videos, and I believe this was recommended by the artist Shada Campbell from her YouTube channel. As you can see, I've established myself. But I love this selection of shades here, and about the only ones I don't really dip into are the metallic shades. But this one does get utilized quite frequently, and I love that I can take out these individuals and maybe use another brand and fill up with tubes, or I can just order the individual. So for this I'm going to add right here, and you can see why I love using this set. It's a beautifully refined kind of color. And this set is by, I looked it up online. I believe it's called Rosa now, but you can see that this kind of faded away. And this is, I just searched up Gallery watercolor set, but I will try and find the link and add that to the description. I believe it's called Rosa watercolor, but I will make that change. I'm gonna add a little asterisk right there. The last set I have is probably one of my favorites. And sometimes I tend to not use favorite things as often as I should, but I utilized these this morning, and I believe made a video about this one. And this is the set. I have seen them at Michael's. I forgot. Kuretake is the name. Kuretake, and this is a set that I got for Christmas. Beautiful colors, and what I love about the Kuretakes is that they are more opaque. So this is Kuretake. And I'm going to give you a few more samples of this one so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me just prime it. And I will include the link to the other video I have created for Kuretake. So this is a shade of blue. Here's an ultramarine, I believe. I can't tell you what color it is because it's written in Japanese. But once you set up your own palette, then it's easier. Here's one of the opaque shades I love to use. You don't often see this color on a watercolor set. You pretty much have to make that on your own. I loved using this one earlier today. So if I can't see through to the paper, then it is pretty opaque. And if it's like that with the first swipe, you know, you have a really nice opaque shade. I'm seriously not used to seeing the shade blocked in like that. If I had to compare that green with, say, my favorite set, this set, I compared it right here. Let me just wet it with my brush. Not the exact color, but you can see that it's still pretty transparent. Okay. Mostly. Of course, the more water you add, the more transparent it'll be. But so these are Escape from this brand. I got paint. So why this video? It's important to see that if you are watching watercolor videos, the materials utilized are going to make a big difference in the outcome. Of course, if you use Crayola colors, watercolors, yes, you can accomplish a watercolor effect, and there's nothing embarrassing about using plain old watercolors like from your school box. It is a good place to start. You can still mix colors, and then as you start to discover your love of watercolor a bit more, branch out into different sets and see what works for you. Maybe you want to try watercolor painting when you travel. I've painted on planes, I've painted in cars, I've painted in hotel rooms, in the middle of nowhere, you know, and it's very relaxing. So if that's something you're interested in, then highly recommend like the Koi watercolors, Raphael, or the Dollar Brownie for travel kits. Those are a great choice. If you want more texture from pencils, you can try the watercolor pencils. As you become more refined, then watercolor in a tube would be a great way to go. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you've learned about what you'd like to choose from as far as your supplies, as far as your paints, and you make the best choice for yourself, whether you're starting off or you're a bit more advanced. So by far, this is not everything that is water soluble. There's markers, there's pencils, there's crayons, but it is a good place to start. So enjoy creating with whatever tools you use to create. Take care.